Whales are the largest animals to have ever existed on Earth, heavier than elephants, woolly mammoths, and even the biggest dinosaurs. These ocean giants are truly extraordinary, but they weren't always the titans of the sea. Around 50 million years ago, the earliest ancestors of whales lived on land. These creatures, like Pachyscetus, looked more like wolves with long legs than the whales we know today. Their bodies were adapted for running and hunting on land, and the idea of growing into enormous sea-dwelling giants was far from reality. Over millions of years, some of these land mammals began returning to the water. They traded legs for flippers, and their bodies slowly adapted to life in the ocean. Even today, modern whales still retain tiny vestiges of hind limbs, hidden within their massive bodies, a silent reminder of their land-dwelling ancestors. Once fully submerged, the buoyancy of water removed the limits imposed by gravity. On land, growing too large would have been impossible due to the weight pressing down on bones and muscles. But in the ocean, whales could expand in size without risking collapse. Yet, despite this potential, early whales remained relatively small. During the next tens of millions of years, whales diversified into numerous species. Some evolved teeth for hunting, while others developed baleen, specialized plates for filter feeding. Early baleen whales could filter tiny prey from the water, but their size was modest, around 18 feet long. These early filter feeders were still vulnerable to large predators in the ocean. The dramatic rise in whale size came much later, roughly 3 million years ago. Changes in ocean currents and temperatures caused swarms of plankton and krill to concentrate in certain regions. This created a superabundant food source for baleen whales, and it completely transformed their evolution. With so much food available, whales could grow larger and larger, using their immense size to travel farther and access more of these rich feeding grounds. The larger a whale became, the more efficient it was at filter feeding. By engulfing massive amounts of water filled with tiny prey, they could sustain their enormous bodies. Over generations, this created a feedback loop. Bigger whales could travel farther, find more food, and grow even larger. This is how the incredible gigantism of modern whales was achieved. Some species, like humpback whales, demonstrate not only enormous size, but remarkable endurance. These whales migrate over 5,000 miles every year, traveling from feeding grounds to breeding areas and back, showcasing the adaptability and strength of these ocean giants. At the pinnacle of this evolutionary journey is the blue whale, the largest animal to have ever lived. Blue whales can weigh more than a Boeing 757 and reach lengths exceeding 100 feet. Their mouths alone can engulf enough water to fill a large living room, and the network of blood vessels in their bodies, if laid end to end, could stretch from Pluto to the Sun and back more than twice. Despite their size, blue whales feed exclusively on some of the smallest creatures in the ocean. Krill, their enormous mouths allow them to filter thousands of pounds of these tiny crustaceans each day, supporting their massive bodies. Interestingly, scientists believe blue whales may have reached a physical limit. A whale longer than about 110 feet would struggle to close its mouth quickly enough to capture prey efficiently, suggesting that the blue whale may be as large as any animal could ever become. This journey from small land mammals to the largest creatures in the history of life shows how evolution, environmental abundance, and specialized feeding strategies can produce extraordinary results. Once limited by gravity on land, whales returned to the oceans, where they could grow without restriction. The emergence of dense swarms of krill provided the perfect opportunity for filter feeding, triggering the evolution of true gigantism. Today, blue whales and other large baleen species stand as a testament to the incredible power of evolution. Far bigger than any dinosaur, they dominate the oceans with a combination of size, strength, and efficiency. From their earliest ancestors clawing through the forests of ancient continents to the enormous titans gliding through today's oceans, whales remain unmatched in the animal kingdom. Whales are a reminder of how the natural world can create extremes. Their size, adaptability, and specialized feeding strategies have enabled them to become the largest animals to ever exist, surpassing every land, mammal, and dinosaur that came before. Evolution, the ocean, and the abundance of prey came together to craft these extraordinary giants of the sea, forever shaping the history of life on our planet.